I don't know, man. I was kind of thinking about like what my my topic would be today. And I really do think that like with everything going on in the world, it was funny. I was talking to the bride and she was kind of like, the whole time I've been here, it feels like I'm like this is real, but also not. It feels like I'm here, but also kind of not. And I told her, I was like, I totally understand. I totally get it. And a part of that is because it feels like the United States, our home, is on fire. And here we are on a beautiful island where people are vacationing and life is going on and people are just living and the surfers are out doing their thing. Today was rainy and so the waves were a little bit more alive and it was actually really cool. I got to go upstairs at the eighth floor. That's where the pool and the like garden is. And so I walked out a little bit to the edge of the garden and was able to see beyond the buildings to the ocean. And I saw all of the surfers, like not all, but like a bunch of surfers out in the water. And it was just, this is one of those places where I know I have to come back. I am absolutely coming back here. It feels like a Xanax, like the best parts of taking a taking a Xanax, or like taking a puff and sitting back and just being. There is something about this island and the space that just encourages you to be present. And this is the reason why I feel like my trip was too short. You know, I should have stayed longer. And I was talking to a friend of mine today, new friend. One of the joys of solo travel is that you meet new people. And this is hilarious. And again, this is why friendships and community is so important, especially if you're a solo traveler. So Jess and I are talking, and she says, somehow we got on the topic of one of the earlier days this week, and I told her, like, Thursday, I was so tired after the bachelorette party, and I had just really it was within the first 48 hours of being here and the time difference and all of that, and I just kind of did nothing on Thursday. And she was like, are you serious? Thursday would have been a perfect day to go to the North Shore because we were both had wanted to go to the North Shore, and like I've always heard about it. Listen, I became obsessed with the Eddy, which is like a surf competition, and it only happens at a specific place during a specific time of the year. And if the waves are not right, then they don't do it. And so it's like this rare thing, and it's by invitation. And I remember the first time I watched the Eddy, and they have like it's on YouTube. Look it up, the EDDIE, and it's based off or named after Eddie Aikau. And I don't know, I might be saying his last name incorrectly. Hawaiian folks, if you happen to see this, please. I'm trying. Um, but he was a lifeguard and a surfer and became a legend. And it's really, really cool. It is okay, so the one that happened, I want to say it was like 2023 or 2024. And it's like the entire broadcast is on YouTube and it's 8 hours long. Okay. 8 hours. And you watch like the surfers. And it was really cool how they did it because they would have a segment where you're watching the surfers, you're watching the competition, and then the announcers would tell you more about the history or tell you some sort of cultural tidbit about Hawaii, the reasons why certain things are done a certain way, and like all of this stuff. It was really dope. I remember the first time I watched it, I was enraptured. Like I would turn it on and like cook and like clean my house, and I would listen to the announcers like talking about Eddie's history and what made him so great and all of this stuff and like the different surfers and talking about the wahine, the women, and like the work, like their performance and the work that they do. It was really, really cool. Um, so all that said, I was like, I want to go to the North Shore. And Jess was like, are you kidding? I thought about calling or texting you. And I held myself back because I was like, what if she is weird? And then I'll have to be like, I don't want to hang out with her anyway. And it's so funny how we get as adults. It can feel so difficult to make friends and keep friends as adults. But I'm telling you, if we get over our own ego and we're able to like be a little bit vulnerable and say, hey, I really like you and I'd like to hang out. Let's. And it's funny now looking back on it. But when she said it, it was like, oh man, what a missed opportunity. And what's even more hilarious is that we hung out with the bride a little bit later. And the three of us were sitting in the lobby of her hotel, the Halekulani, talking and cackling and we mentioned like wanting to go to the North Shore and that Thursday would have been a perfect day. And she said, I thought about getting you two in a thread and just like saying, hey, I think you guys should hang out because I know y'all would get along. It's like I thought about doing that on Thursday. Look at how the universe works. Look at how God works. And look at how like when you're connected with people and you don't listen to that little nudge, you miss out on opportunities. And I really feel like I kind of missed out on an opportunity to hang out with a really cool person, go to a new place, make memories, have a good time, eat really good food, maybe see some hot surfers. I don't know. But like, we should have did it. But now that's something that we can put on the list for next time because I know I'm coming back to Hawaii, 100%. This place, I feel so um held, and I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know how to describe it. It feels like sitting in the most comfortable lounge chair and just watching the waves and watching the sun go down and just being. This is not a a doing place like New York or LA or Chicago. This is a being place. This is where you come to be and enjoy yourself and enjoy the people around you and just chill and be in your body and like eat good food and rest and yeah, yeah. Now, granted, I am in an area of the city that is affluent. Like literally steps from my hotel is like Louis Vuitton and Chanel and all of these different high-end stores. But one of the things that I really loved about this trip was that the bride and groom set up some time for us to go to the food bank and volunteer. And, at first I looked at it and I was like, but then I was like, nah, I think I'm going to sign up. I'm going to sign up. I want to do it because so many people come to the island and take and are not always respectful and they don't give back. And this was an opportunity to not just give back, but also learn more about Hawaii and learn more about the reality of the place here. Because, like I said, we're in Waikiki, we are in a very privileged area of the city. So, this was an opportunity to learn more about Hawaii, learn more about the basic needs of the people and how those needs are met. I mean, this is an island that is so, it feels like a world away from the mainland. And one of the things that we learned was that food insecurity is a big issue here. And but it doesn't look the way you would think. The gentleman that greeted us and gave us the tour and talked about the work that they do and how they do it, he said that the communities with the most food insecurity are places like University of Hawaii, college students, kids who are just trying to get an education, and they can't feed themselves every week. And of course, not everyone, but they're saying like there's a large population of students who can't meet their basic needs. Um, to that end, also like kids in some of the public schools, they're working on expanding a program where kids can come to school and there's a like a shop. They have the food pantry that would be set up like a shop where kids can come in and get what they need for free so that they can eat every day. And like hearing that was kind of shocking because I'm like, this like you look, my view, it's dark right now or I would show it to you, but my view is of the mountains and it's green and it's verdant and it's like they have farmland here, like so I was kind of surprised. I was like, this is an abundant place. And yet there's so many people here who are experiencing food insecurity. But that said, it felt good to lend a helping hand where we could. And it also felt good to learn more about Hawaii, about the reality of this place. Um, and yeah, I know that this is a place I want to come back to for sure. Just feels really good. And for me, as a solo traveler, one of the things that I really tend to depend on is my intuition and how I feel in a place. One of the reasons why I chose Querétaro, Mexico as my home base for right now is because of how it feels. The first time I went there was a couple of years ago, and well, more than a couple, it was about 4 years ago. And I was actually kind of trekking through, kind of like hopping around to see, okay, where should I settle down at? And out of all the cities that I went to, Querétaro felt the best. And so I was like, okay, cool. And then it was really cool because like not only did I feel it in my body and in my spirit, like, oh, this feels right. I also had a really easy time meeting friends, people that really came through at the time. And it made it easier to settle in. Found an apartment, found a really great place, like all of that stuff. So I think that's another thing too, is learning, when you travel solo, you learn through trial and error, girl. You learn how to listen to your body. You learn how to listen to your senses, and you learn to listen to what you need in the moment. I don't know why the exposure is doing this. It's getting brighter and darker as we go. Anyway, I have a few minutes left. I got about 5 minutes before I need to go downstairs and check out and catch my Uber. But just wanted to hop on and share some thoughts with you. as you're leaning into, especially if you're new, if you're leaning into like the solo travel journey, or like, wanting to have these experiences, obviously listen to your intuition, listen to your gut, be safe. But that said, like, one of the really dope side effects of traveling by yourself, especially as a woman, is that you learn to tune in more. You learn to tune in more to your intuition. You learn to tune in more into your discernment about people, about your surroundings, about the cities that you're in. Um, it's actually really, really cool. And the community aspect of it too, meeting really incredible folks that make your stay wherever you are memorable and safe and comforting. And that's what this trip was for me. I will definitely be coming back to Hawaii. And next time I will be going to the North Shore and spending a lot more time on the beach. I only went to the beach once this whole time. I only went one time. And I was here for like 4 days. That's the other thing. 4 days is not enough. I traveled for 2 days to get here just to stay here for 4 days and leave. I think I'm one of the first people to out of the wedding party to leave. And it kind of sucks. I should have stayed for one more day. But you live and you learn. I think that Hawaii, just because of how long it takes to get here, it's worth staying for at least a full 7 days. In fact, the next time I come, I'm thinking about coming for my birthday. I don't know. The next time I come, I'm staying for like 2 weeks. Yeah, staying for like 2 weeks for sure. Um, and just enjoying the time, and hopefully, coming with some friends. You know, it really does. And I know I talk about solo travel, but like I said, one of the beauties of solo travel is meeting people to do fun things with. And I think, I don't know, Hawaii feels, there are certain places that to me feel better when you're by yourself, but Hawaii to me feels better with people. So that's just me though. That's just me. Maybe for you, you want to come out here and like there was, oh, what was her name? We'll call her Sarah, but she came here. She's married. I don't even think her partner is here. She came by herself intentionally. She's a married woman, came by herself on her own intentionally because she said that she wanted to have this experience and this time alone. And I'm like, good for you. Do it. Right. And I came here alone as well. But I think for her, the intention was to be by herself because she wanted to experience this by herself. I came alone because I wanted to support my friends. And you know, in this time, I was able to meet some really cool people. So anyway, I feel like I'm rambling at this point. My Uber's going to be here in a few minutes. So yeah, that's my spiel. That's my thing. I'm sticking to it. I think at the end of this, I will maybe do a little montage of some pictures. And ooh, I have to give you guys a room tour as well. And then yeah, I guess I will see you tomorrow. Oh, by the way, if you are new here, my name is Siobhan. I'm a 40-something Black American woman that travels solo and is currently living abroad. And I encourage women to do the same, to find a sense of agency over their lives and their journeys through solo travel, through moving abroad, through um, all the things. I don't know why I said all the things. See, now I'm distracted. ADHD brain. There's somebody on the rooftop. Anyway, yeah, find your agency in your life. Realize that your life is your own. I feel like women are taught to give and give and give and sacrifice themselves. Women are natural bodhisattvas, in my humble opinion. They're natural saints because we are raised to be such. And my goal, my impetus for all of this is to encourage women to have more agency over their lives, more choice, more um, self-regard, more high and healthy self-regard, to say no more often, to say yes to the things that are going to fill them up, to say no to the things that are constantly depleting them, and find a myriad of ways to do that every day, step by step. Right? All right. That's it. That's the video. I'll see you tomorrow. Um, Halepuna hotel room. We got a king size bed here. We have a cute little sitting area. We have a Julienne balcony that faces out to the city. Quick. And this is the mountain view. And unfortunately, it's nighttime, so you can't see the mountains, but it is the truest time with this gorgeous view of Waikiki and the mountains beyond. Yeah. So this is my room. She's cute, cozy, comfortable. We have a little seating area here, a little desk. Little fridge, coffee maker, all that good stuff. Closet. This was the restroom. I really loved the soaps that they have in here. They smelled so good. They were so comfortable. Also, great hot water. Normally, you have to kind of like wait until the hot water, let it run for a minute before it gets hot enough to use. Hot water is like immediate. Oh, my Uber driver's on the way. We got this cute thing here. Yeah, and there we go. That's the restroom. Ooh, and all of the toilets that I have used. This is so silly, but all of the toilets I've used here have a bidet. They have a bidet, and then like there's a little controller there, and then you have controllers at the top. Listen, I used to live in South Korea, and in South Korea, our bathrooms had bidets, like all of them, which was lovely for the teachers. Now I am once again obsessed, and I need to get a bidet. I need to get a bidet. That just needs to happen. So you'll never feel cleaner than when the water is washing your booty hole. And we have this wonderful mirror here as well. So yeah, that's my room.